This is the N.O.S.E Detective Trial 1 on Sunday, November 26th. This is your start line. Your first hide was here in the cabinet, inaccessible. No dogs had any issues with it. Once it started raining, the odor was really trapping in this mat here. There was nothing else in the kitchen. We did have some dogs showing interest in the garbage can and around the garbage can, but there's nothing there. Your next hide is going to be this one over here on the chair. This hide was actually really, really tricky. The hide is located on the back corner of this chair. And if you notice, there's a vent right here behind there. So depending on if the heat was on or off, you could call it on this chair or on the corner of the ice machine or up under the grill here. Most of the dogs did get this hide under the chair. Surprisingly enough, this was one of the more difficult hides, even though this is a fairly straightforward hide and your dog can actually get their nose directly on it. The third hide is going to be the one that was the trickiest. It is elevated in that hinge of the door. My demo dog had no problems with it, but after running the first couple of dogs, it was very abundantly clear that the odor was not immediately available underneath that hide. So my yes zone for this hide was actually quite large. If your dog indicated elevated anywhere in this hallway, indicated elevated over here, or more importantly, anywhere in this threshold here or along this wall. So where I got the most odor interest from dogs was right along this seam here elevated. So some of the dogs even put their foot up on the stool and were indicating up here or indicating up here in between the chairs. So anywhere in here was a yes. Interestingly enough, the last two dogs to run were able to source that hide directly from underneath it, but none of the other dogs prior to that. I did not see any change in behavior underneath that hide, so that was blowing everywhere. This is the door to the outside, so that door gets opened and shut, and so the odor was blowing outside, and a couple of dogs were very successful at finding this hide by coming back into the building and basically working it along this wall. Your next hide is going to be over here in the foot of this roller. It is down in the bottom, down here. So your dog had to get kind of low down there to find this hide. I didn't find this hide to be particularly problematic, although there is something going along this wall. I'm not sure if it's the outside hide that's blowing in or if it is just something else. But we did have a couple of dogs false alert over here. And my only thought is that that hide's blowing down here, or this is the exterior door, and right outside of this door is where your exterior hide is. Your next hide is going to be under here, under this table. A couple of dogs had a hard time with this, just because there's a lot of odor and they can't actually put their nose on the hide. It's underneath this slider bar here on this side of the table. And so dogs were not finding the hide in the usual places that they find it on tables, but most dogs were again successful with this. Then moving on outside, there's only one hide outside, and it's fairly easy. I don't think we had any dogs miss this exterior hide. So it is all the way down on the last cement bumper underneath it. So it's low, and the breeze definitely helped your dogs with that. Some of the dogs, again, were able to work this elevated hide in there from this doorway into this hallway. And if your dog indicated up here, I accepted that as a valid response. And again, the hide is right there. So best laid plans, I thought this would channel down some and that dogs would be able to work it up. There's a pretty wide channel here. But interestingly enough, that did not happen. But the dogs always tell us where the odor is and where it's not. So I was able to see where the dogs were able to recognize that there was an elevated hide somewhere.